With Elon Musk in the spotlight almost daily for his DOGE reforms of the federal government, we're watching for the impact on Tesla stock. Despite surging nearly 40% since the election, stock has fallen double digits since the president took office. Joining us this morning, Canaccord's George Gianarikas is with us. Price target of 404 and keeps his buy rating. George, always good to talk to you. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Thanks for having me, Carl.
You've written a lot. We talked about the deliveries and the margins and delivery guidance going into the quarter last time. Have you written a lot about the Musk brand and whether it's subsuming the Tesla brand?
Well, look, Carl, the reality is that the trends in the U.S. and Europe last year weren't great. They were saved by a remarkably strong year in China. And so far this year, just the little eensy-beensy data points that we have suggest that the trends aren't great so far in 2025. But the stock is really hinging upon the new vehicles that they're introducing. First, the new Model Y, which looks like a remarkably nice vehicle, and the promise of additional vehicles throughout the rest of the year. So what Elon Musk referred to on the call about I think an epic 2026 and ridiculous 27 and 28 had a lot to do with new product introductions, both on
not just new products, but new services. We know Tesla has more than one more affordable vehicle entering production in the first half of this year, 2025, but those won't hit volume production until 26 or so. So there's a couple of products. Then you've got the Cybercab entering volume production 26, probably much higher volume in 27. You got Optimus, humanoid robot, happening much faster than people expect. And with truly absurd internal goals for production increases in the next couple of years. That's a lot of products, more affordable vehicles for consumers, the Cybercab, and a humanoid robot, any one of which would have been epic for Tesla. But a bunch together, insane. But that's not the end of the story. Mid this year, Tesla intends on launching their Robotaxi service in Austin. By 26 and then 27, Tesla's autonomous service will have scaled throughout many dozens of cities and states throughout the US, most likely be operating in many other places around the world as well. And as this is happening, a golden age of opportunity, prosperity, and abundance will be happening in the United States, rippling throughout the world. The DOGE mission will be complete. It has expiry for those who don't know, July 4th, 2026. Rates will likely be much lower. US economy likely to be booming. This is going to build the foundation, the base for an incredible run, not just a couple of years, but a decade plus. Tesla's been building, growing, learning, investing aggressively. Tesla investors can look forward to an abundance of fruits resulting from Tesla's labors over the last 10, 15 years. And the company's going to completely transform from a highly profitable electric vehicle manufacturer to what would best be described as a transport and labor as a service company. And when big investors recognize what's about to happen, look the fuck out. It's safe to say that a lot of what Tesla's been doing over the past 15 plus years has gone entirely unnoticed. It's not just the surface level stuff, but it's the experience they've gained, the expertise, the knowledge, the aggressive investments in future opportunities that have yet to bear fruits. Optically, what people really see, the actual products on the roads right now, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
the vehicle side. Obviously, they're going to start ramping Optimus production, so we'll have to wait and see. We kept our buy rating because usually in technology or in vehicles, when you have new products coming out, and the company's done a really good job of introducing new products that people like, those tend to really move the P&L and reinvigorate growth. So that's what we're hoping for, and we'll see. We'll find out how compelling the new vehicles are. So far, so good with the new Model Y.
All right, we mentioned this Wired piece, and I know Wired's been critical.
Wired, a steaming pile of excrement, completely riddled with retarded activists. I don't know what happened to Wired, by the way. It was a once good publication. So I don't know what is about to come here, but I'm going to make a prediction. This is CNBS. CNBS leans pretty left. Therefore, Orange Man bad. Therefore, Elon bad. And if CNBS is citing an article from Wired full of extremely left-hearted activists pretending to be journalists, then almost certainly they're about to cite a highly critical article of either Tesla and or Elon bad. And unless it has something directly to do with the next couple of years for Tesla, I'd be a little bit curious as to why they're randomly pulling up a hit piece. But anyway, let's find out. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Wired has a really positive article. Perhaps they're talking about the huge transformation of autonomy or humanoid robots, but I doubt it.
Of Musk in general, but they do point to the sales declines that we have numbers for, and they kind of get into this culture of fans who are at least vocal about disowning their Teslas somehow. How relevant is that when...
Oh, I see it. It appears to be an article written by an activist pretending to be a journalist about the tiny fraction of a percent of people who live in thought bubbles and whose entire life revolves around gaining the approval of others, but only others within their little bubble. Many of these folks attempting to score virtue signaling points by claiming on social media, I'm going to sell my Tesla now because Elon's a Nazi because... Like, right? Most of them never follow through. I said it before, I'll say it again. This is a total non-issue. An extremely loud vocal minority of virtue signaling drones who are desperate for people's approval don't move the fucking needle. What moves the needle are compelling, affordable products, something Tesla has mastered. But because most of the media leans heavily to the left, and therefore knows the one true narrative, Elon bad, Orange Man bad, Elon bad plus Orange Man bad equals Giga bad, they continue to amplify the deranged opinions of a tiny fraction of a percent of people who are just trying to score virtue signaling points within their thought bubbles. This does not represent the average consumer. 99+% of people who own a Tesla don't give a fuck about anything to do with Elon Musk. They just like the product. And furthermore, the only people out there who happen to have formed a negative opinion, and formed is a bit of a loose term here, I'll explain why in a moment, formed a negative opinion about Elon, are retarded NPCs who believe what they're spoon-fed from the fake news. These people are so far gone. They're like drones you just program. But consumers who actually have the ability to think independently will make their own judgments and their own decisions. I'm sitting here scratching my head. I mean, it's so amazing that CNBS has just randomly pulled up a hit piece, either written by like a hypergonadal journalist / activist at Wired or a blue-haired no thanks. Also working at Wired, one of the two. I guarantee, I'm not going to go Carlton read, yeah. I'm not going to go digging, but I know what I'll find. They just randomly pulled up this hit piece. Elon Musk's toxicity could spell disaster for Tesla. I wonder what toxicity they're referring to here. The toxicity of wanting to save American taxpayers' money, the toxicity of calling out corruption, the toxicity of wanting to protect children, the toxicity of supporting, endorsing, and now working with the current president of the United States, a man who won the majority, like literally the popular vote in the United States, swept all the swing states. But this is the thing, right? If you're an NPC who are the target audience of these hit pieces, all you need is to see a headline. Yeah, Elon Musk toxic. I'm never buying a Tesla. He's toxic, because I read it on a Wired headline. The fake news spent the last decade doing the exact same thing to Orange Man bad, and he's the fucking president of the United States right now. So clearly, these hit pieces are not major needle movers.
So much of at least your research is about full self-driving and Optimus and so forth.
It's really important, right? So Tesla has to have vehicles on the road that people want to buy in order to adopt full self-driving. And there's a really important data point this year. They're going to start Cybercab rides in Austin in the middle of the year. And so we'll see how successful that is.
Man, what did we just witness? So CNBS, who know that Elon bad, because the one true narrative is Elon bad, just randomly pull up a Wired hit piece suggesting that Elon Musk is toxic and it could spell disaster for Tesla. Just randomly happen to have this article ahead of time ready to pull up on screen. Like, what? Weird. Unless they have an agenda, of course, which is to continue to program NPCs into thinking Elon bad, Elon toxic, Elon disaster for Tesla, because that's what we put on our TV screen from a headline from Wired, therefore it's true. Meanwhile, old mate here goes, yeah, cool story, bro. What the fuck ever, we don't care. Did you forget about the Robotaxis in Austin? This is kind of important. Seems like George here ain't buying into the bullshit from CNBS.
Obviously, Elon Musk has made many promises about full self-driving and now unsupervised full self-driving in the middle of the year. The autonomous business is incredibly important for Tesla going forward, not just because we said so, but because Elon Musk has said so. So number one, they have to see better adoption rates for people who already own Teslas that can adopt it. That'll move the margins. But also, they have to have a successful launch of the Cybercab in Austin this year for people to believe that their technology approach is the right one. Their technology approach is controversial. They're using only cameras. Other companies that we cover in this space use multiple sensors, and according to the company, they're relying on a neural network approach, i.e., there's no software encoding. You don't have engineers who are overriding the AI to make decisions for the vehicle. So we'll see.
Now, it is true to say that Tesla's approach to autonomy is, quote, controversial. It shouldn't be, but a lot of people are really dumb. No, but actually, George does make a valid point. Tesla's the only company attempting to solve autonomy at scale with a pure optical / neural net approach. Just some cameras and a neural net. A generalized solution. Literally every other company, totally different approach. One way to describe this situation is the entire industry, other than Tesla's doing things one way, Tesla's doing things an entirely different way. And unless both approaches are equally valid and equally capable of massively scaling autonomy, it might be safe to say that one of these approaches is suboptimal. Now, if I were a betting man, I'd probably be betting on Tesla pursuing the right approach. But guess what? I don't need to be a betting man because I've got a fucking brain. I know how to use it. Tesla does have the right approach. Everyone else, encumbered by a bunch of expensive sensors, the requirement to pre-map every square inch in high definition ahead of time with LiDAR to make sure nothing changes, that's not a scalable solution. There's a billion plus examples of an optical/neural net capable of driving vehicles today. They're called human beings. We have proof of concept. But hey, forget my opinion. And forget Elon's opinion, which just so happens to be that Tesla does have the right approach and everyone relying on LiDAR is doomed. Maybe instead we could actually look at some real-world examples of a Musk-led company zigging when everyone else zags. Like, for example, Tesla. Everyone says electric vehicles are too expensive. No one can afford them. And Tesla goes, yeah, but we're going to start at the high end, drive the cost down and massively disrupt transportation. Everyone says, haha, that's never going to happen. 2014, Tesla sets a goal of producing 500,000 electric vehicles per year in 2020. Everyone says, that's not going to happen. That's impossible. That's absurd. And it happens. SpaceX seeks to develop rapidly reusable rockets. Everyone says, that's impossible. That's not going to happen. And as I record this today, I think SpaceX is doing about 80-90% of payload to orbit, the only company on Earth with rapidly reusable orbital class rockets. I could keep going all fucking day. I think you guys get the point. But one more example. Elon Musk buys Twitter, pays a massive premium. Everyone says he doesn't know anything. He's an engineer. He doesn't understand people or social media or the internet. And he lays off about 80% of the UFWs at Twitter. Company gets renamed to X. Everyone says, Twitter's got to collapse. X has got to collapse. They can't possibly keep going with 80% of the people fired. Fast forward a couple of years. The X platform is infinitely better. Huge leaps and bounds forward in terms of new features added. And profits have roughly quadrupled with 1/5 the headcount under Musk's leadership after everyone said it wasn't going to work, it'd fail, you can't get rid of that many people, blah, blah, Elon doesn't know what he's doing. But obviously, when it comes to autonomy, Tesla's obviously totally fucking this one up. And this will be the first example when everyone who said, hey, Tesla, you're doing it wrong, everyone else is doing it right, will be correct. This is going to be the one miss for Elon Musk.
How do you think about just the overall valuation levels? I know you have a buy rating on the stock, but isn't it still pretty expensive despite having shed hundreds of billions of dollars in the last 2 months? A slight rebound here, but I mean, this is still a pretty expensive stock, especially as you're looking pretty far out for some of these upside catalysts, right?
Look, you're going to have to pay an expensive multiple for a company like Tesla for a premium asset in the space. What we look forward to over the next couple of years is really good growth based on these new products, based on continued growth in energy storage. And the promise, right? We apply a healthy 40 multiple to 2027 earnings estimates at around $10. The promise beyond 2027 is continued growth in EVs, robotics, full self-driving, energy storage, all the things that he's talked about, Elon Musk has talked about. So you have to believe that these other new markets, which we do, will result in continued growth for Tesla beyond 2027. It's a rare asset, right? When you have an industry disruptor like Tesla, it's always hard to understand exactly what the right multiple to put on it is. I mean, think about Google, think about Amazon, think about other companies that have disrupted traditional industries, and Tesla is one of those. So that's why we decided to apply a very healthy multiple to our 2027 numbers, based on the promise of those new products beyond that year.
Valid point. You want a premium asset, you're going to pay a premium price. And what's relatively unique about Tesla, even among disruptors, not only the massive scale of Tesla's disruption of the automotive business, but also their willingness to disrupt themselves with new products, much more affordable, far more compelling, eat into existing sales at higher end by driving costs down. But in addition to that, the number of massive, disruptive, transformational opportunities Tesla's pursuing aggressively, simultaneously. I mean, there's never been anything like the scale of the opportunity that autonomy represents. And useful, increasingly intelligent, humanoid robots will dwarf that. This, in a nutshell, explains why I buy Tesla when I have cash, as opposed to trying to time the market or wait for a discount. I mean, don't get me wrong. If the stock collapses, all the better. My money's going further. But I'm looking 10 plus years into the future, which is why I model 10 plus years into the future. And if you guys want to see my 10-year estimates for Tesla, different scenarios, check the link in the pinned comment to join Patreon at the investor level and above. And when I look a decade into the future and then work back from there, whether I'm paying $150, $250, $450, I don't give a fuck. It still looks like a deal to me based on the future opportunities. And just one closing point on paying a premium price and valuation. I distinctly recall watching a piece on Amazon probably 25 years ago, somewhere around 2000, maybe a little bit before or after. And in that piece, they mentioned the fact that the skeptics at the time were saying that in order to justify Amazon's current valuation, the company would need to sell every single book on Earth. aka Amazon is just a book company and it has a very high valuation. And for those of you keeping score at home, the company's actual valuation since roughly 2000 is up roughly 100 times. Not 100%, 100 times. Hey, not bad for a book company. Want more content? Early access? A bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. This is what viewers of the channel had to say after trying AG1. I feel like I have a lot more energy since I started on AG1. Just got my AG1 in the mail, legit feeling the effects after day 3. 3 months ago, I started AG1 and have been enjoying the evenness of alertness and energy that lasts the day. I just started the wife on it too. Are you convinced yet? I mean, hey, it's worth trying, right? Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, or I can keep going. This viewer, after about a month on AG1, definitely a lack of fatigue in the afternoon. Pleasant side effect is that my coffee intake has imploded and is almost down to 0. One more? Yeah, why not? I honestly feel younger and will be continuing to use AG1. This stuff really is crazy good. I didn't think it would be, but this stuff is awesome. It really is what everyone is saying. One more? Don't mind if I do. I've just received my 3rd month supply. I've drank it every day. I have so much energy throughout most of the day. I'm productive, started a new business, started socializing, refurbished a boat. It's no coincidence. Thank you for your persistence, your integrity, and your insights. Now look, these are not my words. These are not my testimonials. This is what you guys and girls are saying. Maybe it's 100% placebo effect. But even if that's the case, I think it's money well spent. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs.